and it is all well too important for this structure. Otherwise, the downside risk will be borne to the investor itself. Which brings me to the next one, which is the foreign exchange. There's certainly foreign exchange volatility that needs to be accounted for in here, and this is quite a critical part, because with these type of transactions, you may see the lease rental being denominated either in US dollars or maybe in euros, while the investment being paid to the investors may be in yen. So any weakening of the yen, for instance, still means that the obligations are still in dollars, which are high, but the revenue that the investor get are actually falling just because of the imbalance between the currencies. This is something that they certainly have to be able to offset from the get-go. Otherwise, you may have a very good deal in your hand, but the profits are actually being eroded just because of the foreign exchange volatility, right? So it has to be accounted for. You may possibly see some dual currency structures at play, but then again, that just makes the complexity, that will just increase complexity of the structure itself. Just to mention a few. And then last but not least is the residual volatility regarding the values. When it comes to JOLCO, typically the term is around 10 years. This is what we see, and then end of the lease being around 12 years, or 2 more years after that call option. So with that, 10 years is a long time, so a lot can happen during that particular time, right? So if you think about it, you may have a call price or the call option being higher than the true market value during, let's say, in 10 years' time. And with that, what it will mean is that the airline may not necessarily be keen on exercising that call option, just because you have the market value being higher than you have the call price being higher than the market value. So the airlines may think, why pay more for an aircraft that's worth less, right? So what will happen is that the investor will have to take on the risk of the downside there. On the opposite side of it is that you have the call price being less than the market value, the true market value of the asset. With that, it is that the airline may be inclined to exercise that call option just because they'll be paying less for an asset that is worth more. So consideration, some careful considerations there between the lessors and the lessee, as well as during the agreement with regard to the residual value, is very important. And we will continue to see that, especially during a volatile market. You need to be able to balance this out with certainly a certain level of margin for this volatility. Otherwise, you may see these profit returns to the investors reduce accordingly. So these are some of the challenges that may just affect this particular finance structure.